They gave me the worst room on the family trip. They didn't know I owned the resort. The annual family retreat was a tradition my mother insisted upon, though, for me, it always meant a weekend of subtle jabs and belittling comparisons. This year promised more of the same, with one major exception. The luxurious coastal resort where we were staying, the Azure Point, was now my property. A secret inheritance from my grandfather, left to me 8 months earlier. When I stepped into the grand lobby, my heart hammered against my ribs. I saw my sister Clara, the family's golden child, being swarmed with hugs and effusive greetings. My own arrival went unnoticed until my mother spotted me, her expression souring. "I didn't think you would make it, Alara," she said, her disappointment unconcealed. "I wouldn't miss the family retreat for the world," I replied, my smile not quite reaching my eyes. My brother-in-law, Marcus, Clara's husband, gave my attire a dismissive once-over. "Looks like the branding consultancy isn't as profitable as you'd hope," he remarked with a smug grin. If only they knew. My little consultancy was now a sought-after agency with a portfolio of international clients, but I had long since given up correcting their assumptions. The real secret was the one I held closest. This 5-star resort, with its pristine gardens and panoramic ocean views, was mine. My grandfather, Arthur, had always seen a spark in me the rest of them chose to ignore. "We've assigned the rooms," my mother announced as Julian, the manager, distributed the key cards. Clara and Marcus were given the celestial suite, boasting a private terrace overlooking the ocean. My parents received an executive bungalow. My cousins were assigned deluxe ocean view rooms. And me? "Ilara, you'll be in room 112 on the ground floor," my mother stated. "It's next to the service laundry, the smallest and loudest room in the resort." A wave of awkward glances passed through the family, some of shame, others of poorly hidden amusement. Julian, the manager, looked deeply uncomfortable. "Ma'am, perhaps we could find another option for Miss Alara," he started, but my mother cut him off. "That won't be necessary. Alara is simple. She has no need for luxury." I caught Julian's worried expression. He was one of the few who knew my true role, but we had agreed to maintain secrecy during my family's stay. "It's perfectly fine, Julian," I said, my voice even. "Room 112 will be wonderful." I took the key card and walked toward the elevator, the weight of their collective gaze on my back. As I went, I overheard my cousin Sophia whisper, "Same old Alara, always getting the scraps." The room was just as described, compact, with a single window facing the noisy service corridor. I sat on the bed and inhaled deeply. My goal wasn't to confront them or flaunt my ownership. It was to finally understand why, after all these years, they still saw me as the least among them. That evening, at the welcome dinner in the resort's Michelin-starred restaurant, my family commandeered the best table. My seat was wedged awkwardly behind a large marble pillar. As they ordered the most extravagant items on the menu, I chose a simple garden salad. "Can't you afford something better, Alara?" my father chimed in, his tone a mix of pity and scorn. "We can cover it if you need." "The salad is perfect, thank you," I said, holding on to my dignity. The conversation, as usual, centered on Clara's accomplishments. A recent promotion at her investment firm, a new vacation home. "Our Clara always reaches for the stars," my mother beamed. "Not like Alara, who's content designing brand strategies." The head chef Marco made his rounds to greet the guests. When he saw me, he offered a slight, respectful bow that did not go unnoticed. "Was the salad to your liking, Miss Alara?" he asked. "It was exquisite, Marco. Thank you," I replied. My family exchanged puzzled looks. "You know the chef?" Clara asked, her surprise evident. "We've met," I answered vaguely. I had personally hired Marco 3 months ago. As the night wore on and the wine flowed, the remarks grew sharper. The weight of my secret felt heavier with each passing insult. A part of me burned to reveal the truth. What would their faces look like when they learned that every condescending word was spoken under my own roof? Julian appeared at my side. "Miss Alara, an urgent matter requires your attention," he murmured. "What could be so urgent for Alara?" Marcus scoffed. "Did the resort run out of sketch paper?" Ignoring him, I stood. "Excuse me, I'll be right back." In the privacy of the management office, Julian's concern was palpable. "Miss, I can't stand by and watch them treat you this way. You own this entire place." "I know, Julian, but I need to understand why before I reveal anything." I gazed out the window at the moonlit waves. There's a deep wound in this family, and I feel I'm finally close to understanding its source. When I returned, my cousin Sophia was mid-story about her new luxury SUV. My Aunt Helena, ever the keenest observer, piped up, "What did that manager want with you, Alara? You seem to know the staff here." All eyes were on me. "Just a minor mix-up with the reservation," I said smoothly. "Typical Alara," Clara muttered to Marcus, just loud enough for me to hear. "Always some kind of issue." Later that night, with the lobby deserted, Julian brought me a cup of herbal tea. "Your grandfather would be so proud," he said softly. "Mr. Arthur always knew you were the one to protect his legacy. He was the only one who saw anything in me," I said with a sad smile. "Sometimes I think he was mistaken." "Never," Julian said firmly. "In the 8 months you've been in charge, you've implemented more positive changes than the previous management did in 5 years. The staff adores you." Mr. Arthur was not mistaken. The following morning at the breakfast buffet, I received several discreetly respectful nods from the staff. My family, engrossed in piling their plates high with gourmet offerings, didn't notice. "Is that all you're eating, Alara?" my mother asked, eyeing my bowl of fruit and yogurt. "You're so thin. It's not healthy." "I'm perfectly healthy, Mom. I just prefer a light start to the day." Marcus guffawed. "Light on the wallet, you mean? I bet you budget every last cent." The table erupted in chuckles. I focused on my food, determined not to let them get to me. The day's activities included a resort tour, poolside lounging, and spa treatments. Naturally, my parents had arranged the premium packages for Clara and Marcus. For me, only the leftovers remained. "I'm so sorry, dear, but all the deep tissue massage slots are taken," my mother informed me with feigned regret. "You'll have to make do with a basic Swedish massage." I later found out she had personally canceled my pre-booked premium appointment, calling it a waste for someone like Alara. Over lunch, the conversation drifted to Grandfather Arthur's estate. "I still can't believe Father sold the resort before he passed," my mother lamented. "It was his life's work." "He must have received an offer he couldn't refuse," my father mused. "A shame we never found out who the new owner is." Clara sighed dramatically. "If this place were still in the family, we could visit whenever we wanted. We could even get Alara a proper room," she added, as if bestowing a great charity. A small smile played on my lips. They had no idea about the truth of the inheritance or the family's secret I was about to unearth. That afternoon, while the others were on a private catamaran trip, I went to my grandfather's former study, which now served as my private office. Julian was there with a box of old files. "I found what you requested, Miss Alara," he said. "All of your grandfather's personal documents concerning the family." I sifted through letters, photos, and journals. My eyes landed on a faded envelope dated 18 years prior. It contained a letter from my mother to my grandfather. My breath caught in my throat as I read. "Father, you must see that Alara is not like the rest of us. She never has been. By treating her as your favorite, you are setting her up for disappointment. She lacks the fortitude to thrive in this family. Clara is the one who should inherit your legacy." My hands trembled as I read more letters, all in the same vein, all painting me as a failure, unworthy of my grandfather's affection or his fortune. Tucked among them was a draft of a reply from my grandfather, never sent. "Isabella, it breaks my heart to see how you dismiss your own child. Alara possesses a strength and vision you are blind to. One day, you will all realize the profound mistake you are making." The truth hit me with the force of a physical blow. It wasn't simple sibling rivalry. My own mother had systematically campaigned to alienate me from my family. "Are you all right, miss?" Julian asked. "No," I said, my voice thick with emotion. "But I will be." Deeper in the files, I found something even more shocking. evidence that my father and Marcus had conspired to trick my grandfather into selling them the resort for a fraction of its value just before he died. Their plot failed only because he grew suspicious and secretly changed his will, leaving everything to me. A knock at the door made me jump. It was Sophia. "Ilara? What are you doing in here? This is a restricted area." Her eyes scanned the documents spread across the desk. "Miss Ilara was just asking about the resort's history," Julian interjected smoothly. Sophia's gaze narrowed. "It's strange. They wouldn't even let us peek inside this office, yet you get a private tour? Perhaps I'm not as insignificant as everyone believes," I replied, meeting her eyes. A flicker of doubt crossed her face. "Grandfather always did have a soft spot for you," she said, almost to herself. We all saw it, even if no one said it. After she left, I knew my time was running out. The family's suspicions were growing. I had to decide. Endure their contempt a little longer, or finally reveal that I, Ilara, the family outcast, was the master of the very empire they all coveted. The answer came to me that night, at the formal gala, where the storm that had been brewing finally broke.